question, will viruses emerge? Absolutely. We know that there's a huge number of viruses which are present in other organisms. There's also a large number of viruses which are already present in humans, which circulate among humans and animals and so forth. And we've been characterizing and studying the importance of emerging diseases came into prominence in the 1980s. Because before that, people thought that we'd controlled all diseases by having antibiotics. So now, since we've known that antibiotics don't work for viruses first, and viruses keep emerging constantly, and each virus is so different from each other that we have to focus individually on each virus to control it. For example, HIV. Predicting the evolution or emergence events of these viruses are quite a tough job. It's mainly because there's so many different variants in the nature that we first need to understand that's there. And then we need to characterize them, whether they can grow in a human cell, whether they can attach to a human cell receptor, and so forth. So to really come to a close conclusion in terms of whether a virus can emerge into humans again, we need to really characterize out what's there. And so people have started those efforts now, and people will continue these efforts for a really long time, because based on experience with influenza, because influenza is another virus which can cause pandemics, people have been characterizing lots of avian influenza, swine influenza, bat influenza, and so forth. We've narrowed down the possibilities that can emerge, but again, the secondary event that actually leads to transmission is the actual contact between a human and the animal. So there's social aspects that we need to understand as well, which causes emergence. So we are not very close to it yet. We've learned an immense large number of lessons during 2020. However, I don't think we are ready. This is because we have a similar challenges in various other fields. For example, climate change, and that's a really good example in terms of how we need global efforts to control and make things better. And I think it's a similar analogy for emerging viruses as well, where we're going to be constantly, the science is going to be consistently growing and learning better things. But it's not just science which actually controls the virus, and there's lots of other social aspects and governments which actually play a much key role in controlling a virus. Like, for example, SARS-CoV-2, we had all the tools to potentially knowledge in terms of this virus and how we could control it through basic non-pharmaceutical interventions by social distancing and masks and so forth. But we've understood that there's a much higher barrier, and that's the social barrier which comes into play in all of these things. So the future is actually looking much clearer though. That's the better side of it, because we know what to do once we get our act together.